Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 7th of May. Pakistan Judicial Commission begins recording witness statements in poll rigging allegations. Zimbabwe cricket officials approve security arrangements ahead of first Pakistan tour. And despite being visually challenged, boy from South India becomes news anchor. And now for all the details. The United States has handed over used military hardware to Pakistan worth $5.4 billion. The deal, which was approved last month, comes as American troops withdraw from the region, leaving behind large weapons for its allied countries.
A fleet of 14 combat aircraft, 59 military trainer jets and 374 armoured personnel carriers worth $1 billion were handed over to Pakistan by the US. These weapons, classified as excessive defense articles, have been used by American forces in Afghanistan. As the American forces are withdrawing from Afghanistan, it is leaving a part of its weaponry for its allies in the region instead of shipping it back to the United States. Pakistan has long been used by the NATO and the US as the main transit route to supply both weapons and other essentials for the troops in landlocked Afghanistan. US State Department had last month cleared Pakistan's request for military equipment after identifying it as a country of vital importance for its foreign policy and national interest. The acquirement of such weaponry is expected to add to Pakistan's military capability at high altitudes in the region, especially in tribal areas where the army is engaged in a crackdown against the Tehreek-e-Taliban.
Women in Afghanistan have expressed disappointment over court's verdict on the case related to mob lynching of a blasphemy-accused female. They said the court's ruling stands short of total justice.
Although an Afghan court sentenced 4 men to death and 8 others to 16-year imprisonment in the brutal attack of a woman accused of burning Quran, many in the country felt that the verdict did not quite deliver justice. Women rights organization expressed discontentment over the verdict and said that not just few but over a dozen others who were let free also should be brought to book.
4 تن اعدام و 8 تن حبس و هم حبس طویل نه حبس 16 سال و 18 تن براءت هیچ قابل قبول بر مردم افغانستان نیست و من امیدوار هستم که محکمه استئناف و استر محکمه در این باره درست تصمیم بگیرن، درست تحقیق بکنن تا که ما دیگه شاهد سوختاندن یک خواهر ما، سوختاندن زن در افغانستان، سوختاندن یک دختر اورام در ملأ عام نباشه.
Predominantly Islamic Afghanistan is considered one of the countries where women face most oppression. Until some years back, women were barred from getting any kind of formal education or taking up jobs which could liberate them economically. Many blamed hardline male-dominant social system for the status of women in Afghanistan.
یک دختر و یک خانم در داخل مملکت ما مسئولیت نداره، امنیت نداره. چرا؟ به خاطر از این قانون نیست. در بالای خودش فساد هست، بی‌قانونی هست، بی‌عدالتی هست و تا امروز همه که ما رو رنج میده.
Farkunda was beaten to death and set on fire by a crowd of men on March 19th after rumors spread that she desecrated Quran. The brutal killing was strongly condemned by Afghan government and international communities alike. The incident triggered outrage in Afghanistan as a wave of protest by women rights activists sprang up demanding justice. It is for the first time that women's rights cause gathered a rare attention in the male-dominated Afghan society.
Bangladesh Nationalist Party chairperson Khalida Zia has been slapped with murder charges in the Jatrabadi arson case. Zia, along with 37 others, mostly her party members, were indicted by detectives in the case on Wednesday. One person was killed and 28 others were injured in an explosion on a bus at Jatrabadi area in Dhaka in January this year. The attack was a part of the violence the country witnessed during the 3-month-long BNP-led indefinite blockade. According to the charge sheet, Zia had masterminded the bombing. The BNP, however, condemned the decision, calling it politically motivated and one-sided. Zia currently also stands accused in 5 corruption cases and 3 defamation suits. She is also facing 4 other cases in the recent blockade-related attacks. Maldives President Yamin Abdul Gayoom completed his first state visit to Pakistan on Thursday. The two-day trip comes at a time when his government is facing international criticism over the jailing of former President Mohammad Nasheed.
President Yamin Abdul Gayoom wrapped up his maiden visit to Islamabad on Thursday after meeting his Pakistan counterpart Mamnoon Hussain and Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. During the visit, the two countries inked a number of bilateral deals in various sectors including health, education, narcotics trafficking and sports. President Gayoom's visit was also aimed at garnering support for his country from Pakistan after it came under international criticism for the arrest of former President Mohammad Nasheed and archipelago's dismal human rights record. The European Parliament had last week passed a resolution asking member countries to issue a travel advisory to tourists. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had in March cancelled his proposed visit to Malé following the arrest of Nasheed.
Pakistan's three-member Judicial Commission probing alleged vote rigging during the 2013 general elections began recording statements of witnesses. The commission is expected to file its report within a month.
The Judicial Commission headed by Chief Justice Pakistan Justice Nasirul Mulk on Thursday recorded the statement of former Election Commissioner Anwar Mehboob in connection with vote rigging allegations. Mehboob was the third witness to testify before the judicial panel about irregularities during the 2013 general elections. On Wednesday, the first day of the recording statements, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf had produced two witnesses before the commission. The two officials informed the judicial panel that Punjab Election Commissioner had sought the recruitment of 200 men just days before polls. However, the purpose of their appointment was not mentioned. The PTI, led by cricketer-turned-politician Imran Khan, had led a relentless campaign against the Nawaz Sharif government, accusing it of massive fraud during the elections. The party has also submitted the names of prominent journalist and former caretaker Chief Minister of Punjab, Najam Sethi, as witnesses in the case. Pakistan People's Party, the main opposition in the parliament, had on Monday submitted a list of 65 constituencies which it wanted to be probed for vote rigging. The 2013 general elections, which saw the first democratic transfer of power in the country's history, was swept by Prime Minister Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League, which won 166 out of the 272 seats. However, Khan had claimed that the polls were manipulated in favour of the Muslim League. An election tribunal had on Monday disqualified Railway Minister Khwaja Saad Rafiq after it found evidence for misappropriation of votes in at least 7 polling stations in his constituency.
The Karachi University on Wednesday held a landmark talk on the missing persons of Balochistan. The seminar, however, turned into a protest against the varsity administration, which had declined to allow conducting the event on the subject.
Hundreds gathered at the University of Karachi to listen to the representative of the Voice of Baloch Missing Persons. The seminar, titled Baloch Missing Persons and the Role of State and Society, had Mama Qadir Baloch and Farzana Baloch as the chief guests. Irrespective of many warnings received by the university officials, the organizers went ahead with the crucial talk which highlighted the grave issue of abductions and enforced disappearances in Balochistan. It also paid homage to 40-year-old slain human rights activist Sabine Mahmood, who was gunned down on 24th April, hours after she hosted a seminar on the issue of rights violations in Balochistan. Asserting the importance of bringing to light the rising tide of kidnappings in the province, Baloch leaders said it was a game plan of Pakistani agencies to wipe out the nationalist movement.
लोग डेली बेसिस पर कोई भी एक इस तरह का वीक नहीं होता कि उसमें कोई लोग डिसअपीयर ना हो या कोई मशक़शुदा लाशें ना मिलें, तो ये डेली बेसिस पर हो रहे हैं फ्रॉम 2010 से लेकर अब तक. पहले वो पकड़ते थे, टॉर्चर करते थे, फिर छोड़ देते थे, तो उससे काम नहीं बना, तो अभी लोगों को मार कर और टॉर्चर करके उनकी मशक़शुदा लाशें फेंकना फ्रॉम 2010 until now.
Mama Qadir Baloch reportedly spoke about discrimination and state brutality in the insurgency-hit province, rejecting Pakistan's claims over external involvement there. Rahimdag Bukti, the grandson of Baloch nationalist leader Akbar Bukti, said the restriction on media in Balochistan was the reason behind most of Pakistan's oppressive policies going unreported.
हर साल या हर महीने में कोई ना कोई कहीं से मिसिंग होता है अगर वो ओपनली काम करे। तो इंटरनेशनली जो हम काम कर रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इंटरनेशनल जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, NGOs हैं या ह्यूमन राइट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, उनको रिपोर्टिंग करें जो कि डेली बेसिस पर वहाँ पर इंसिडेंट होते हैं, ताकि ये उनसे आगाह हों कि क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि वहाँ पर बलूचिस्तान में कोई मीडिया या इंटरनेशनल मीडिया या NGOs अलाउ नहीं है कि विज़िट करें। तो हम ये कर रहे हैं, डेली बेसिस पर रिपोर्ट्स दे रहे हैं इनको और हाईलाइट कर रहे हैं।
Baloch activists have time and again accused the Pakistani army of undertaking a kill and dump policy to end the freedom movement. Thousands have been killed and hundreds have been held in illegal detention centers by Pakistan's main intelligence agency, the ISI. According to the Voice of Baloch Missing Persons, Pakistani forces have arrested and over 20,000 Baloch have disappeared since 2001 and more than 4,000 Baloch activists have been target killed by Pakistan military.
Zimbabwe cricket team officials have expressed satisfaction regarding security arrangements put in place by the Pakistan Cricket Board for its upcoming tour to the country. A 4-member delegation from Zimbabwe assess the security situation in Pakistan and Lahore Cricket Stadium, where all the matches are scheduled to be played. Zimbabwe had last week agreed to tour Pakistan, making it the first international team to play cricket in the country in nearly 6 years. Foreign teams abandoned tournaments in Pakistan, citing security reasons after a visiting Sri Lankan team came under terror attack in 2009. 6 people, including a security personnel, were killed in the attack, which also injured 6 Sri Lankan players. They say the sky is the limit for those who have the will to fly, and an 11-year-old boy in southern India is breaking stereotypes. Let's take a look at how he became a connoisseur at this television channel.
11-year-old Sri Ramanujam is an example for millions of visually impaired people around the world. Born blind, the young boy anchored a special telecast of the weekly news on southern India's Tamil TV station Lotus News. As his small hands ran on braille and his confident voice resonated, it was an emotional moment for the boy's mother.
ஒரு திறமைக்கு காரணம் இல்ல, குறை காரணம் இல்ல, குறை இல்லாதவனு சாதிக்க முடியும். எந்த மாற்றுத்திறனாளியை பார்த்தாலும் நம்ம அவங்கள ஒதுக்க கூடாது. நான் எல்லா பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் சொல்ற ஒண்ணே ஒண்ணு, நம்மளுக்கு பிறந்துருச்சா அதை நம்ம சாதனையாளர் ஆக்கணும். அந்த ஒண்ணு எல்லா பெற்ற தாய்க்கும் வேணும். அதுதான் என்னோட இது. யார் நம்மளுக்கு இந்த குழந்தை பிறந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னு ஒதுக்கி வைக்க கூடாது. 4 பேர் கண் இருக்கிறவ சாதிக்க முடியாத நம்ம புள்ள சாதிக்கணும். நடக்க முடியலையா அவ சாதிக்கணும். அந்த வெறி எல்லா பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு வரணும். நம்ம புள்ளையை அப்படி வளர்த்தணும்.
According to the Delhi Ophthalmological Society, India is home to approximately 20% of the global blind population. The figure is attributed to a lack of medical facilities and eye donors in the country. Lotus TV said it hopes that Sri Ramanujam's broadcast increases awareness about eye donations and treating avoidable blindness.
ஆனால் சோஷியல் அவேர்னஸ் வருவதற்காக முதலாக இந்த உலகத்தினுடைய பார்வையை மாற்றுவதற்காக பார்வையற்ற ஒரு சிறுவனை முதலாக லோட்டஸ் தொலைக்காட்சி இந்த உலகத்திலே முதல் செய்தி வாசிப்பாளராக இன்று கொண்டு வந்திருக்கிறது. இதன் மூலமாக உலகம் முழுவதும் இருக்கக்கூடிய மக்கள் தங்கள் இறப்புக்கு பின்னால் கூட இந்த உலகத்தினுடைய பார்வையும் சமுதாயத்தையும் பார்ப்பதற்கு கண்தானம் வழங்க வேண்டும்.
Sri Ramanujam's weekly telecast may become a ray of inspiration for many. But the real test would be whether he also widens the country's vision and compassion.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories, once again, Pakistan Judicial Commission begins recording witness statements in poll rigging allegations. Zimbabwe cricket officials approve security arrangements ahead of first Pakistan tour. And despite being visually challenged, boy from South India becomes news anchor. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. And that's all in tonight's edition, which is the same time tomorrow. Good night.